How is everybody? That's a lot better. My name is Alex Hale. I am Haley's son's cousin. In fact, Haley and her brother mean a lot to me. I remember where I was when I heard they were born. I was in 3rd grade class and I got called to the office and they're like, everybody in my class was like, "Oh, you're in trouble." And I come back and I go like, I have twin cousins now. So Haley and her brother means so much to me. So it's a pleasure that I can speak to you guys about my experiences. Now, when we talk about the word autism, what does it really mean? What are we talking about with it? What if I told you, let me just ask this polling question. Do you think I look like a normal human person? You know, just regular acting person you would meet? Raise your hand if you think yes. Pretty much unanimous. Would you believe me if I told you I'm autistic? No. I get that a lot. Don't worry. I am. I was diagnosed at age 6 with Asperger's syndrome and ADHD. And it's been a long struggle. But you want to know what? I wake up every day and I look at the challenges that I face and I welcome them. I welcome my differences. When we look at autism, we think of one thing that stands out above everything else. Socialization. Think about it. We just socialize different. Just think for a second. Eye contact can be a little bit of a problem. We start communicating in a different way, almost like our own language. It's more of a social disorder than anything else. If you guys know what the R word is, I'm not even going to say the word. That is no longer a part of your vocabulary anymore. If you even say that word, you better think twice before you even say it. I got a better idea. Just say dumb. That's one less syllable, one less breath you're taking. Saving a second of your life. Brilliant. It's blowing your mind right there. Anyways, when I speak to schools, I like to do this because I want to talk about being different. So I'm going to ask a couple of you guys a question. If you want to raise your hand, I want you to tell me what you want to do with your life. Anyone want to answer that question for me? You're right there.
Basically, my life, it's like just become a bigger person and try to handle my differences better and being able to talk to people and just get along better.
What kind of a career? What kind of things do you like to do?
Sport agent, like to follow sports, and I like to do that kind of golf sports.
Awesome. Okay, somebody else. Yeah.
Me?
Yep.
Sorry. I want to be an entertainment reporter on the radio.
Huge. I mean, do you notice the different answers there? Sports and entertainment. Everybody's different. Now, for me, what do I like to do? Well, I'm a huge sports guy. Living in the city of Cleveland with a 50-plus year drought of no championships. Sorry about the Pistons, guys. But anyways, sorry about that. I know. But anyways, as a huge sports fanatic, I'm actually a broadcaster. I'm a sports broadcaster. My own show is called After Further Review. It's on No Static Radio starting next Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Check it out. It's a lot of fun because we always like to keep it different. You know, where I come from, I can tell you the things that we talk about in broadcasting on one hand. It's the same thing every day. You know what I do? I tell them, you want to know what? Forget those takes. I'm doing something different. And I may get yelled at, I may get criticized for it, but guess what? It's different. And people like that. They like the reality of the world. You're starting to see it a lot in society today. When we keep it real, people respect us. So, for a long time, when I was diagnosed, I was bullied. Now, there were multiple reasons. One, I was autistic. Number 2 was I was living in the state of Ohio and I grew up a Michigan fan. You tell me how that works out. Hey, you want to know what? I'm proud to say I'm from Ohio and I root for Michigan. So, all right. I know there's some Michigan State fans. I like them too. They're okay among them. And I hate Ohio State. Yeah, we get some cheers for that. Yeah. All right. So, I would actually, and I remember a story once that Michigan beat Ohio State. I was in middle school. I come into school, I get sort of pushed around. You know, guys are not happy that my team won. Next thing I know, I'm getting beat up because Michigan won. That is inexcusable. So what happened after that? Well, I got sent to the principal's office, and because there was this label of autism on me, I was the one who got suspended. Now, you're probably asking yourselves, well, why did the bully get away with it? That's not fair. You're the victim. You're absolutely right. Their response to that was, it's for your own protection. My own protection? No. And this is for anyone who sees any bully going on in this school. You tell a teacher what's going on. You don't even hesitate. You go to a teacher, tell them what's going on. Because in today's world, back when I was in middle school, we didn't have Twitter. We didn't have Facebook. But now we have that. And we're seeing people get bullied, not just in the classroom anymore. We're getting random photos that are photoshopped, making somebody look, foolish. And then people go out and they take their own lives, which I find horrible. And it's wrong. I've been down that road before. I've never really said this outside of my parents. But there was a time where I was bullied and I almost attempted it. Now, for the record, I don't have a bone in me that could go through with it. It can think about it. It does not have a bone in me that can do it. But it was because I didn't have anyone supporting me. I had acquaintances. I didn't have friends. I didn't have people who would stand by my side and say, you want to know what? Enough's enough. I'm standing up for you. If you can only do so much and it's not getting through, I got your back. And I wish I had that, because it was one of the darkest moments of my life. Now, when I hit that point in my life, I had two choices. And you may get to this point in your life, because one day you're going to be independent on your own, and you're going to have to do things for yourself, and it's going to be a struggle. When you hit rock bottom, you have two options. Either A, you can sulk up and say, oh, woe is me, the world is out to get me, which that's a no-no. Or two, you can say, you want to know what? Okay, I fell on the ground, wipe that dirt off, I got to get right back up and keep going forward. So that's what I did. Now, one of my things that I love to do other than sports is music. I am a performer. I have 4 songs that I've written with my uncle. He's a 3-time Grammy Award winner, the last man to record Ray Charles. And that's a pretty big accomplishment right there. And I wrote about my experiences. Now, the first one, Into the Light, is on YouTube. You can go check it out. It's an amazing song. And that one was about hope. Going back to the whole autism part. In today's society, people don't accept it. They think of us as that artwork, that we are pushed aside by society as dishwashers, as menial job workers, and are going to contribute nothing in the world. When I was in 6th grade, I was told 3 things by a doctor. Straight to my face, understand. Put yourself in my shoes. You're in 6th grade, and you're being told by a doctor, you're never going to finish high school without assistance. You are never going to college. And you are going to live the rest of your days in a halfway house, mopping floors for the rest of your life. Because I was told that. And my parents loved them to death. They were living. My dad, I thought he was going to have a heart attack right then and there. I thought he was going to hurt the doctor. So he gets out of the room, I'm worried about him. And the doctor looks at me and says, you don't need to worry about him. You need to worry about you. You have serious problems. I have serious problems? No, you have serious problems. You basically just told me my life is over. So you want to know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove you wrong. And I'll come back here one day, and I'm going to show you how wrong you are, and you will tell whoever your superior is then how wrong you were. And promise you will never make that kind of a judgment ever again. You measured what was up here. You forgot to measure what was in here. So let's fast forward. I finished high school with next to no help. Special education was there just to monitor. They were there if I needed them. It was my choice. Told them to get lost as a sophomore. And I'm glad I did. I finished with a 3.2 GPA. I went to the University of Akron where I failed miserably. It was just not a good fit for me, and that's one thing you need to think about for your future, is does the school work for me? I made a huge mistake going to a big time campus. Didn't work out for me, and I was failing. So I went to Bryan Stratton College because my mom worked there and tuition was free, so how can I pass that up? That's sort of a good deal right there, guys, don't you think? Normally that gets a lot more people laughing on that one.
That would be our OCC here.
But I went there, and a year ago, I finished my bachelor's degree in business. So I'm very happy about that, because I had to fight for it. I had to. And I'm not going to go into the whole story why, but you can ask me afterwards and I can tell you. But I earned it. And then the third one, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Well, one, I know I'm one heck of a singer. My uncle, always praises me, and it's not because, he's my uncle. Because if he really thought that way, think about that for a minute. He could have made me the Justin Bieber 10 years ago. He didn't. I had to propose the correct idea to him so I could get his attention. He never made it easy. So, before you say, oh, he's your uncle, that's why he's so nice. No, that's not the way he works, I know. So, I could do that. I could do broadcasting. I know I'm good at it. I've got people back at ESPN Cleveland who said, Alex, you're good enough to be on our airwaves right now. Which I take as a huge compliment, but I know I need to keep working at it every single day. So, then I think about what else could I do? For the longest time I thought autism was this black cloud, a curse over my head. And yet, at the end of the day, it was a gift. It was a gift. Because in sports, I can tell you things that happened probably 100 years ago. And you wouldn't believe it. I can tell you one off the top of my head. So it was October 2nd, 1908. The Cleveland Nabs were playing the Chicago Black Sox. Greatest pitching matchup ever done. Number 1 versus number 2 in career ERA. Number 2 in career ERA threw a perfect game that day in a 1-0 victory. The only run came off of a wild pitch that went behind the catcher who played for the worst team who ever played baseball in 1899 in Cleveland. He played for Chicago. That's how the only run was scored. Cleveland won that game 1-0. I memorized that. And there are other stats I know too. But that's one of my favorite stories because of how extensive it goes into and how much you can learn. And I've learned throughout all this, knowing Haley and her brother and the gifts that they have. The autistic mind is the most beautiful mind of them all. You aren't going to know what you're going to get. You just can't predict it. At one point, Haley's brother, Wiley, he knew so much about cars, I was like, holy cow, he's going over my head right now. It was unbelievable. Haley's amazing with animals. She's great. I think she could do anything she wanted in that field. And I don't talk about this a lot, but there was once a time, and Haley taught me a very valuable lesson. This is how much she means to me. There was once a time, and I've told her this, that I was concerned. She was not the most social, and I was concerned. I was getting better myself, and I wanted to see her and Wiley to get better. And there was about a year and a half gap because I don't get up to Michigan too much, and I feel bad I don't see them all the time. In that gap, she made one of the biggest transformations I have ever seen. And it's very hard for me to talk about with her sitting right here. Because she taught me a lesson that I knew that I hadn't taught myself. Don't underestimate somebody. The one thing that I kept driving myself to prove somebody wrong, I totally forgot in others. And Haley, you taught me that I cannot forget that lesson for anybody. I've worked with others on the spectrum. I know one back home. He's getting ready to graduate high school. He's a singer. I'm proud of him. Last time I hung out with him a few years ago, and we had a few years because, you know, long story, but anyways, he said he wanted to be a singer, just like me. He had one of the lead roles in his high school musical this past year. And he was there when I did my senior year musical. And it means so much that, you know, someone saw his talents and pursued it. So whatever you love to do, whether it be sports, whether it be broadcasting, is there anyone who wants to be like a doctor or, you know, you want to be a doctor? It's going to take a lot of work. Because I've spoken to medical students. It's going to take a lot of work. You got to have a lot in here to do it. You can do it. Because I want you to think of a certain word. Impossible. Have you ever been told something's impossible to you? I want you to take a very, very close look at that word. The line between the M and the P. What does that say? Someone just said impossible. Gee, wait a minute. Is that what the word meant? All along? Oh my God, mind blown. My mind is blown right now. Aren't your minds blown by that? That's what the word really means. Because that doctor told me, Alex, it's impossible. My judgment is final. Don't worry about anything. We've got your back. Because it's impossible you'll do anything with your life. And I said, really? Bye-bye. I'm not listening to you anymore. And I proved her wrong. So, impossible? Just another meaning of I'm possible. It's just another way to say it. Because nothing can stop you from going after your dreams. Nothing. I thought I could be an Indians baseball player, and yeah, it didn't work out. Could I probably still want to do it? If I really wanted to work at it, heck yes. Heck yes, I could do it. But things change when you grow up. Instead, either I want to be a broadcaster, or I want to be a scout and general manager for the Cleveland Indians. Though if the Tigers ask me, there is another funny story that I could come over here. But, you know, that's another story for another day. But it's amazing what a year does. Actually, 2 years. You spent 15 minutes in the team president's office for the Cleveland Indians. This is a true story. He tells you things no fan's supposed to know. And then he ends it with, by the way, if this gets out into the public, I know it's you. You're the only non-person with the Indians I'm telling this to, and I'm trusting you won't say anything. You have my word, I will not say anything until after, you know, everything works out, and it has, and I'm allowed to say it now. And it's just amazing. 15 minutes in the team president's office, and he can tell you that. You have to impress people. You have to have a passion for it. Baseball is my first love. It is the game I love, and I want to be around it. There's nothing for me like waking up every morning knowing you're going to the ballpark. There is no other feeling like it. Now, you may feel differently. You may go like, there's nothing like going into the operating room every day and saving a life. You may say that. You may say there's nothing like breaking the biggest news story of the week, like we caught something on a certain presidential candidate and they can't run anymore and I broke the story. There's nothing like that feeling. So, how do you get there? Don't let anybody tell you to. Don't let any labels, whether you're autistic, whether you're not autistic, whether you're a normal human being, whether you're just an average guy, Because here's the reality. We're not all the same. We are all different. And just think, if we were all the same, wouldn't this place be a boring place to live in? And by the way, I think this was attempted at one point in world history, and that didn't work out well for the guy who tried to do that. So that should teach us all a lesson. Treat each other with respect. Going back to the bullying, if you bully one person, no matter what they are, you're really bullying everybody else. Because no one person is the same. You're just picking somebody out because really they're different. But we all are different. We all have things that we love and that we don't love. A lot of my friends are not sports fans. I'm the biggest sports fan there is in Cleveland, probably. Doesn't mean that they cannot be my friends, that we can find other common ground things to have certain respect in. For me and my other friends, it's video games and Star Wars. By the way, may the 4th be with you. I have to do it, I'm sorry. But you just think, if we lived in a world where we really thought about the reality of it, that we're all different, there would be no crime. There would be no problems. We would be able to work our differences out with the world. You know, John Lennon's song Imagine, he was trying to hold a mirror in front of the world. And that's the beauty about the music of the past. They try to tell you a story. And that was a story of, hey, we all are different. Can we imagine a world where we finally accept that reality? So again, whether you're autistic, whether you're not autistic, whether you're a different race, whether you're a different age, it doesn't matter anymore. Because we all are different. And this world is just one heck of a place to live in. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. We see it in the news every day. But you want to know what? We can make a difference together. All you gotta do is spread the message of we're all different. No one person's the same. But that's perfectly fine. You could be the generation that ends the bullying. You could be the generation that finally makes autism accepted. Because I cannot tell you how many places I've worked where they openly discriminated me because I'm on the spectrum. They'll never say it to my face, but you know that's the reason why, because there's only one autistic person who's working there. You can make the difference. Now, before I wrap this all up, because I know we're a little bit short on time, I want you to say something with me. Impossible means I'm possible. Now you guys say. Impossible means I'm possible. We're going to go around one more time. Anyone else want to tell me what they want to do with their life? Like what career? You first, myself. Yeah, in the blue. Yeah.
I want to be an art therapist.
Art therapist, that's really good stuff there. Yeah.
Me?
You can go first and I'll go to you.
I want to own my own business, like a farming business, I guess.
That's an interesting field, something that we need a lot more of. How about you?
I
want to be a professional bowler.
Professional bowler? Man, I used to bowl myself a little bit. Gotta take a lot of work, but I know you can get there. How about you?
Either a pilot or an air traffic controller.
That's a good career right there. That's gonna be a lot of fun, I bet. How about you, Neil? Great career. Gonna take a lot of work to get the degree you probably need to really move forward, but you wanna know what? You can do it. You guys can do it. Anyone else? I'm gonna do a couple more and then we're gonna wrap this up. How about you? A comedian. Man, I gotta tell you, I've interviewed one of the best comedians in Cleveland. Funniest guy I know. Try being random at times. That works. Okay, how about you way back in the green? Yeah. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. What was that? Thank you. We need a lot more people that are willing to sacrifice themselves for this country. Thank you. Yes, you.
Okay, I want to be a special ed teacher.
We need a lot more of those. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? We'll do 3 more. You right there. Very good. You in the gray back there. What was that? Awesome. And then you over there in the blue and blonde hair. What was that? Awesome. See? Look at all the different answers we had. Look at all the different answers. We all want to do different things. We all want to do different things, and you want to know what? You can do all of them. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. And I'm going to tell you, you need to appreciate your teachers. Because it is Teacher Appreciation Week. Don't think I didn't know that, teachers. I very well knew that. Because I want to tell you one quick story before I wrap it up, because I want to tell you how important teachers are. I'm going to talk about one teacher in particular. I went to Brexwood Robbie Heights in Cleveland, suburb area, and I had a music teacher. His name was Mr. Valley. He means the world to me. He knew I wanted to do great things in music. One of my goals was to be in our show choir, Music in Motion. I got in there my sophomore year and I had a meltdown, which is common with autistic people at times. But I was going to be kicked out because of this one outburst. And he fought. He fought to keep me in, and he actually offered me to stay. And I told him, you want to know what? I appreciate it, but no. I'm going to work. I'm going to help you guys on the sidelines, and I'm going to become better for it. So he guided me the next 3 years to be a better person, to be a better musician, and to do things in music I didn't think I could do. I ran a soundboard like nobody else in the school. Even he didn't even know that I could do those kinds of things. I could pick up on microphones, with feedback before they even happened. He was blown away. He kept pushing me. And he made me into a great singer. We had this thing called contest. For 3 years, I couldn't get this. There's a grading scale of 1 to 5. 1 being best, 5 being worst. I kept getting a 2. I kept getting a 2, and I didn't know what it was. In my senior year, he says, you've got this. I know you've got this. He helped me for 3 weeks prepare this song. And I go in there, and I felt really good afterwards. I nailed it. I felt like there's no way I didn't get a 1. And they didn't post it until about an hour later. I had left, and he calls me on my phone. He says, Alex, you got a 1. And it was something that held me back for a long time. And I had been accepted in Acton School of Music, and he was so happy about that. And then getting that. Teachers can help you in so many ways that you may not know today. But if you can understand others' stories and knowing how they can help you, they can do wonders. So teachers, keep up the work with your students. And to the students, listen to them. They are here to guide you. They want to make you better people. Not just better students, but better people. Because we need good people in this world. They give up, they work for a living to make you better people. That's what they're here to do. They're not here to assign you 5 tests in a day. No. They're here to make you better people. When they assign you a lot of homework, it's discipline. When they give you a day off, it's also discipline. So you know that certain days you may have off, you have to be ready to come in the next day and work your butt off again. Because I had that, and some days I get lazy. But they're here to help. They're here to guide you. Appreciate them, especially this week with it being Teacher Appreciation Week. So teachers, thank you for all the hard work you do. To the students, I hope you learned something today, a little bit about autism, about anti-bullying, and about being different. It's okay to be different. One of my favorite songs is Being Green. And you want to know why? Well, first off, my car is green. I didn't bring it up here. I'm sorry. I would have shown all you guys that. Maybe another time. But at the end of the song, he says, but I think it's what I want to be. If you gave me that pill today that would cure autism, I'd find the nearest garbage bag and I would just throw it out. I don't want it. I don't want the cure. I don't care. I am who I am, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the person my cousin Haley's become, and you should be proud of the people you are becoming and who you are going to be, because you are going to change the world. Mark my words. Work at it, and you will do great things that maybe you don't know you're capable of now, but you'll know in the future. Thank you, everybody.
The upper school just wanted to say thank you, and this is a small appreciation.
Thank you very much.